Hi again, everyone, with another edition of the Stronger Together podcast. I'm Josh Warden. Well, it's a big month for ACSI. The Flourishing Schools Institute opens up February 17th in Arlington, Texas. It's a big conference. Hope you're able to attend. Whether you are or aren't, I think you'll enjoy this little snippet of a conversation with Dr. Michael Lindsay. He's one of the keynote speakers at the FSI. He'll speak on Hinge moments. He'll explain kind of what that is and his topic at the beginning of this little snippet. So here is Dr. Michael Lindsay, the president of Taylor University.
The average American will have between 35 and 45 million minutes in their life. Probably 10 to 20 individual minutes disproportionately shape the other 35 to 40 million minutes you experience over the course of your life. The minute you're born, the minute you meet your spouse, the minute you place your faith in Christ, the minute you have your first big break professionally, the minute you experience your first tragedy. How we respond to those individual moments and process them, respond from them, grow, learn, mature as a result of them, they shape the trajectory of our lives. So you have to pay a lot of attention to the hinge moments that come up in our lives. When we're together, I'm going to talk about both navigating personal and professional hinge moments, how we can individually and corporately prepare for the next hinge moment that's around the corner, and how we can use those for God's greater glory and for our good.
That's great. That makes me even more excited to hear it. So that's a good summary of it. Are there any kind of personal stories or just reasons why that one floated to the top for you, made you excited to speak about that, or anything else you can share just in your own background about how you felt you learned on this topic in particular?
Well, a hinge moment in my life occurred at 3:23 a.m. on January 19th, 2004. It was the minute that my oldest daughter, Elizabeth, was born. We had anxiously awaited her arrival. She was the first grandchild on both sides of our families. My wife had had a typical pregnancy, and we were thrilled to finally welcome Elizabeth into the world. But within just a few short seconds, we realized something wasn't quite right. And it would take 3 years before we would learn what a broad diagnosis called failure to thrive, really how it was going to shape our lives. Elizabeth was born with a very rare genetic disorder. Both my wife and I were carriers of that. We never knew. And there's fewer than 500 known cases in the world. But Elizabeth has a very rare genetic disorder that manifests itself with a number of special needs and challenges, both physical and cognitive. Elizabeth is now 21, but she does not have language. She really cannot care for herself, though if you look at her, she would look typical. But even if you interacted with her for just a minute, you would know that she's quite special. The day Elizabeth entered the world changed my life forever. It has shaped not only our family's life and how we view parenting and care for her, but it's shaped the professional opportunities I've pursued. It's shaped even my own sense of calling and passion. I spent most of my life around college students who are type A, high achieving young people. And my own daughter, Elizabeth, will never be in that particular category of people. And yet, Elizabeth has amazing worth and value. She's made in the image of God. And her being in the world has made the world a better place. It's shaped our family life, my life, in significant ways. I love the fact that Elizabeth lives on a college campus because we live on the campus of Taylor University. And so all of my students and faculty and staff, they regularly interact with Elizabeth. And her presence reminds all of us that the world that God has created includes lots of different people with many different kinds of abilities and needs. And it was a hinge moment that changed my life, and in some ways has even changed the life of Taylor University. When we get together, I look forward to sharing how those kinds of moments have shaped my own trajectory, but also how we can use the lessons that we learn from those kind of moments to make us better followers of Christ, better leaders, and better educators.
That's a powerful background. I appreciate you sharing that. Both for people who are able to attend FSI in February or any conference. I mean, you were at the PPA Summit, Public Policy and Advocacy Summit in September. You've been around a lot of ACSI sponsored things. What's the value of educators just attending these conferences in the first place, and what you personally get out of them when you're able to attend and speak at them, that sort of thing?
Patrick Lencioni says that the primary purpose of a meeting is to transfer energy. So his idea is that we get together in these kinds of sessions because we're trying to be mutually encouraged to edify and support one another. It's a chance for us to learn and grow and mature as a community. And I love coming to these kind of professional development opportunities. I seek them out all the time because I find that there's always at least one or two nuggets that I can take back and directly apply to my institution. But it also gives me a chance to deepen relationships, to make connections, to meet new friends, and hopefully to develop partnerships and opportunities that can be a blessing to my faculty, my staff, and to my students. So I'm super excited to be together with you guys in Dallas. I love ACSI, deeply appreciate the ministry, but also I think that the fellowship we share together can be great. 1 Thessalonians 2:8 says, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well, because you become so dear to us. And I view that as being an opportunity when we gather in February.
Well, my thanks to Dr. Lindsay for his time. Next up, we're going to hear from Shanda Adams talking about the Federal Tax Credit Scholarship. This is a big deal that can be very relevant for a lot of Christian schools. Shanda is with the ACSI Children's Tuition Fund. She's the business development lead. She'll explain a little bit about what the Federal Tax Credit Scholarship is, how it's relevant for schools, and kind of the timeline as this will go into effect January of 2027. So here is Shanda Adams.
The Federal Tax Credit Scholarship is something that is available for Christian schools all over the nation. And in fact, it's for public schools as well. It's something that's available for students to be able to have the freedom to choose a school that they want to based on contributors using their federal tax dollars, and instead of sending it to the federal government as part of their federal taxes, up to $1,700 can now be diverted to an SGO, which is CTF, a scholarship granting organization. And that organization then works with the schools, Christian schools, and scholarships, giving different scholarships out to students and allowing students who wouldn't normally be able to go to a Christian school, but due to finances, now have this ability with the Federal Tax Credit Scholarship.
Good. It's a mouthful sometimes.
It is.
Okay, that's good info. How would you say parents can participate? What sort of things should they know about how they can participate, and how do they benefit?
Yes. So parents are probably the ones who are Googling it right now, because this is opening up a lot of doors for them. What they can do, first of all, is be aware if their governors are going to opt in or opt out. And we're really working with ACSI's public policy team to get that information out to governors to encourage them to opt in. And then if they do, parents then would just submit applications and through their school, and tax money that was diverted to CTF would then be able to open the doors for them to apply and go to a Christian school.
Yeah, absolutely. How does this work in conjunction? Does it work in conjunction with any other state funds that parents might receive?
Yes, absolutely. So anything that they receive with the state level, this is actually on top of that. So it's really exciting for the states who already have programs that we are currently operating in also. And we manage millions of dollars, allowing those states to bring students to the schools. But this is another opportunity to kind of fill in the buffer or the gap for some students, and then bring in more for different Christian schools.
How would you say donors benefit?
Yes, so we're looking at it in two different ways. There's donors and then there's contributors. Now, donors, we don't want to take away from schools, because we already have donors who are providing very immediate and helpful money for Christian schools. These are contributors, and this means anyone who has to pay taxes. You have a donor, and then on top of that, the donor then becomes a contributor with their tax money. So this is something that Christian schools and donors are able to really dip into and help them out in a double, maybe triple way.
Well, for more on all of this, you can check out everystudenteverystate.org, and that website, as it continues to grow and more information put on there, will be a great resource for you in learning about the Federal Tax Credit Scholarship and many other things related to the ACSI Children's Tuition Fund. So again, my thanks to Shanda Adams for joining me. Well, to finish here on this episode, we want to highlight an ACSI school that's making a difference in their community. Pantego Christian Academy, which is located actually near where the Flourishing School Institute will take place this month. They're located in the Arlington, Texas area. They do something called PCA Gives Back. Pantego Christian has that event as just one small part of what they try to do in their community. To share more about the history and what that looks like in the Arlington area is Dr. Kathy Farrell, the head of school, and Jared Jones, the director of spiritual development, to share more about PCA Gives Back.
This was actually the vision of one of our parents, and this came about 13 years ago. And that parent still has kids at our school, but at the time he had high schoolers, and they said, okay, we do mission trips, but what can we do in our local community? And so he and a group of parents kind of organized this just for the high school, and it was successful, and it began to spread down into middle school and then the lower grades as well. And so our high school and middle schoolers will spend the morning in the community serving somewhere. And then generally we've kind of gone back and forth with different models. A couple of years ago, the high school started working on one big project at a park all together. And then we're still just trying to kind of figure out how that works. But the bottom line is we get the kids out of the school and into places that they may not necessarily go with their families. That there may be places that they go with their church or youth groups. Like, for instance, our high schoolers, though, kind of one of the goals with our high schoolers is to get them into more relational activities where they're serving food. We had a group that went to Beautiful Feet, and we took a worship team there, and we had a student preach, and we led their service, and then also served food as well. So yeah, that's just kind of the history there. It's an evolving thing. So what we do, we figure out what works this year, and we try to apply that next year and work on something else that we need to work on.
And Jared contacts, how many places would you say we went to?
So we went to about 22 places.
From, Salvation Army to, there's a resale store across the street that we helped sort clothes, parks. We've painted people's homes before, picked up trash, fed the homeless. We have a group that's gone to a special needs school. We have a special needs school in Arlington that's really near and dear to us. And we've gone there at least 10 years probably. And our students just help the teachers there and help with activities and talk to, the kids, talk to them about Jesus, do Bible studies, do games, but also gives the teachers kind of a little bit of a break with our students there. And so, yeah, it's an awesome full day where our students get to not have schoolwork, but get to serve in our community.
We actually have a story on the acsi.org/stories page about PCA and other schools that are doing good work in their community and being an example of Christ-centered education within the walls of their school and definitely beyond as well. You can go check out that story and more right there. And again, hope to see you at FSI this month or Rooted in June in Colorado Springs. Many more events to come this year. Whatever way you connect with ACSI, we're glad that you're part of this family. For all of us at ACSI, I'm Josh Warden. Thanks for tuning in.